be recording you giving the answers on camera, and then you'll upload that to YouTube, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, great. Okay, I guess let's get started. If you could please begin by just stating your name and your title, please.
Yes, my name is Pastor Charles Williams. Last name is spelled Williams, and I am the founder and the creator of the concept known all over the world today as the Amber Alert system here in the United States of America and the Child Rescue Alert in other parts of the world.
Wonderful. Pastor, now if you could answer my first question, I understand, is today the National Amber Alert Day in honor of what you created?
That is correct. Today is National Amber Alert Awareness Day, in which this day was inspired by the tragic and sudden and untimely abduction and death of a 9-year-old Amber Hageman. But also on this day, it began something new, which is called the Amber Alert concept.
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. The Amber Alert concept began, like I said, shortly after 9-year-old Amber Hageman was abducted and later found killed. What I did and my involvement in this is that on the Monday prior to her being found, I picked up the phone, and after praying about this situation over the weekend, I picked up the phone and I called a local radio station there in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. And I suggested to the on-air host there and the local sheriff at the time, his name was D. Anderson, and I shared with him, I said, D, what would, Mark and D, what would happen if we took, and just like when a tornado or some bad weather is coming into our area, y'all are able to break into regular programming and alert people as to the nature of the bad area, of bad weather, rather approaching their area, almost down to the city block. I said, what would happen if y'all broke into the regular programming with an alert about a missing child? We could do that same thing. I'm sure if y'all can be as precise as you can with the weather, we could be that. If we could be that precise with trying to locate an abducted child, I believe we were onto something here. And so, as a result of that, D. Anderson thought about this for a little bit, and he said, that's something that very well could possibly work. So the very first and initial trial of that was right there in the radio station on that day. He said, hey, just stop. Everybody just stop and just kind of look around and just see if you see a child in the back seat of a car or something that looks like it's uncomfortable or doesn't need to be there or something. And so that was the very first initial trial. And, to make a long story short, we began to get, not we, but the state of Texas began to get inquiries as to how it is that the state of Texas was beginning to get children back before they were harmed as a result of using this. Florida came up, California came in, and long story short, it just began to develop across the country. And one of the very first presidential acts that was done by President George W. Bush was to sign this little-known concept that everybody had fallen in love with here in Texas into national law. And that's how we got the Amber Alert.
Very nice. Now, Pastor, we recently had a situation last week. I sent you a little synopsis of what happened, where an Amber Alert was issued, and quickly, basically within a few hours after that happened, the father, biological father, and the missing child, a little 7-year-old, just a few years old child, they were found safe thanks to truckers on the interstate seeing the information broadcast and hearing the information broadcast over emergency scanners. How does that make you feel to hear that was basically a perfect storm, if you will, and it went so well, and the child was recovered quickly and safely?
Absolutely. I tell you, my emotions are across the board whenever I hear of a child being rescued safely and quickly. because I know that it didn't have to be. I know that it very easily could have been a different outcome. And so when we hear of things like that, we know about the Truckers Network, and there are many other networks out there, such like the Truckers. But to know that, you know, it just kind of reinforces the thought that I've always shared, is that it really does take a village to save a child. Hillary Clinton one time said that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I kind of coined that phrase, changed it up just a little bit, and said that it takes a village to save a child. So whether it's a trucker or a biker or just simply somebody walking down the street, and now you're going to be getting Amber Alerts via text messaging on your smartphone. So really it throws and with the trucker, back to the truckers and including the smartphone and everything, it throws a very large net over a vast area very, very quickly. And that's basically what the Amber Alert does, is that it throws the net out over the city of Nashville and captures it and everything, and then it begins to work its way in to find the perpetrator and the child that was abducted.
Very good, Pastor. Well, thank you so much for sharing that reaction, that's how I felt too. It was like a great thing. I didn't have any further questions. Did you have anything else to add?
Yes, I do. I want to be sure and share with the great people of Nashville, whom I want to thank you so very much for your support of the Amber Alert concept. I want to share with you this book, Faces of the Amber Alert. Okay, it has the picture of myself and President George W. Bush on it. And a lot of people have a difficult time in sharing, with having conversations with their children about how to stay safe. In this book, I have put a lot of safety tips in it that parents should go over with their children and so forth. And I want to say a couple of things. One thing is to make sure that parents be sure that your paperwork is correct. If you have children in school, make sure that your paperwork is correct so that the wrong person, in case there's a custody situation, is not able to just show up and pick up your child, because very easily a child could be 2 states away by the time you get off work at 5 o'clock. So, you know, make sure that you have a current photo also of your child. We like to say not older than 6 months old should you have a photo of your child. And I'll close with saying this. We hope and pray that you will never need an Amber Alert. But in case you do, I want you to know that we are there and we're ready to go. And if you have a current photo of your child, that just helps us all the more to help find your missing child. Thank you, and God bless to the people of Nashville.
Thank you so much, Pastor. You have a great night, and thank you for making time for us. You have a great one, okay?
Okay, absolutely. Now let me do this here.